Sarah.
And I'm Brandon.
And you're watching
More Love with R&B.
And today we are doing a review on the TV show Blackish.
Yes.
Specifically, we're doing season 4, episode 20.
Yes, entitled 53%.
Yeah. So we are definitely going to do a lot of spoilers. We are going to talk in depth about what we thought about the episode. You can go ahead and click like or share or subscribe.
That'd be great. So the title of the episode is called 53%. And basically it starts with Dre talking about 53% of all American marriages fail. Yeah. And that's a crazy number.
Yeah, and it's so ironic. I mean, you'll see throughout our video, a lot of the things that happen in this episode, we've talked about in several of our videos. So we'll be mentioning them throughout this video. And if you haven't checked out those videos, please feel free to do so.
Subscribe. Sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, marital funks happen, especially when you have been married for a while, and especially when you have just crazy life happening. In this episode, it's clear they have 5 kids. They have busy lifestyles, and now they're celebrating their youngest son's first birthday, and they are just not seeing eye to eye on, like, it seems like everything. They're arguing about a lot of things, petty little things. And I mean, that happens when you're in a marriage.
Yeah, it does.
When you're in a marriage, when you've been together for so long, you can tend to start butting heads. But we believe that there's reasons for that.
Yeah, so I think one of the first reasons is when you don't date regularly. And it's so weird because I feel like everybody has that excuse blanket that kind of covers a multitude of things of like, you know, how come we didn't date? Well, you know, the kids this, or, you know, you got that thing that, and, you know, there's always some reason that you're not dated. Well, you know, it's raining so hard, and I had a picnic planned for you, babe. We were gonna go do it was the first time I was gonna try to be creative, and I was gonna take you on a picnic, and now it's raining, and so then we just do nothing.
Right.
Interestingly enough, sidebar, we could have just had a picnic in the basement, or put a blanket down when the kids go to bed, and we do a picnic in the living room. Like, there's ways to not be all or nothing. But yeah, when you don't date regularly, when you don't have, let me just be more specific. When you and your spouse do not make specific time for the two of you to connect on like a one-on-one level, not about anything outside of your marriage. So I'm not saying y'all come together and talk about, okay, how we gonna fix up the house. I'm not saying come together and talk about, okay, what's this week looking like? Let's plan out our day of busyness. Like, nah, yo, like I'm talking about how often do the two of you get together and just talk about your relationship and your marriage and your goals and what you want to do with each other and how you want to do it with each other and where you want, like, just how do you connect when it's about y'all? Like, I'm just being an adult here.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, in this episode, when they went to counseling, it was clear. She said, you guys need to make time for each other.
I'm not talking about anything radical, just a simple night of reconnection, a date night. It's a chance to focus on each other. It's saying, I know there's a world around me, but what's important is in front of me.
And so if in your marriage or relationship you're seeing lulls, that's probably one of the first things that we'll suggest is choose each other right now. Don't make any excuses.
Nope.
Pick a day where you guys can date. And we have a video about the importance of dating. So you should definitely check that.
There, but it's probably gonna be like right here. Like,
okay. Ding. Check out this video about the importance of dating, because this is one of the things that happened in this episode that was really important, that was missing out.
Another thing that's bound to happen that will cause like marital funks is when you're not sharing your expectations. And we actually have another video called Was My Marriage Clickbait? And in that we talk about having unspoken expectations, which basically means that you are expecting your spouse to say things, to be a certain way, to think a certain way, to respond to you in a certain way. You do something and you go like, oh, well, I said this. I thought you would have, like, you're having all these expectations and they don't know what they are because you haven't even shared them. So you're trying to hold this standard over someone and they have absolutely no idea.
Absolutely. And this was all through
oh my gosh
the episode where both of them, Dre and Bo, were having all of this expectations about what the other person should be doing, especially with the baby and the fact that they thought he should walk or shouldn't walk, and he's 1 year old, and so he should be where most of our kids were, stuff like that. And so they had an expectation of what they thought their spouse should be doing, and when they weren't, it was causing the bickering, it was causing the little jabs that they were doing with one another.
Sarcasticness.
Absolutely. And it just was not productive, and it was causing a rift between them.
Yeah. And I think another thing too that was causing a lot of these issues was that they hadn't let go of like past faults and flaws. So you saw that through the episode.
Absolutely.
Where it was like
they just kept bringing up stuff,
bickering about something happening right now, and then it was like, oh yeah, just like when you did X, Y, and Z like 10 years ago. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And so what's the natural response? You're still holding on to that?
Absolutely. And we have another video, Marital Combat, where we talk about letting past things go.
Yeah, like
not
don't
bringing past issues into a current fight that you're having.
Right.
It's just not productive. You're not going to be able to get through it because we're talking about this and we're trying to hash it out, and then you bring in something that I thought have already been dealt with. And I feel like another issue is when you're not honestly communicating with one another, which was all through this episode. Man. Especially when you see at the end when Devontae actually walks and they're so relieved and they go back to the bedroom and Bo says, oh, I was so worried. And he's like, wait, what? You were worried? Yeah, I was worried. Like, you know, and he's like, and you weren't going to do anything about it? And she was like, well, I didn't want you to like get all crazy and whatever. And he's like, but you could have told me that you were at least feeling this way. We could have shared this nervous emotion together. Even if we decided to handle things differently, at least I knew that you were feeling the same way. And so she was going on like, she kept saying, I'm not worried, everything is fine, Devontae's fine. And that was not honestly communicating. No. And so he automatically felt disconnected from his wife because he was concerned, being a good father, concerned about his son. And he's thinking that his wife isn't even concerned about her own child, when actually she was concerned. Yeah, another thing that I really liked about episode 20 is the fact that they recognized that there was an issue and immediately wanted to go to counseling. They weren't like, well, I don't know if I want to go. They were like, you know what? There's something wrong. There's something off. Let's go in for a tune-up. And we have a video about the importance of premarital counseling. But I think in that video, we also state that all couples should go to counseling. It's good to have another party to be able to hear you going back and forth and to try to see what the problem is and to help you guys through it. So I love the fact that they were both extremely willing to go. They were very open. It seemed like they were, you know.
Yeah, they're like, let's go. Let's get a little check-up.
Let's do this, you know. So that was really encouraging.
So let's just pause for a second, because I think what our clearest message here right now is go to counseling. Go ahead, just go.
Yeah.
Go make an appointment and actually go.
It's important.
Yeah, very important.
Especially if you find yourself anywhere. If you see your marriage anywhere in this episode, don't wait until it gets to this. Yeah. Just go ahead and get that counseling.
Yeah. I think the last thing we'll talk about too with this episode, and the reason why this next point is actually like personal to me is because it's something I try to be professional at. And it is personal digs, sarcastic jabs they're
below
just
the belt.
like below the belt stuff is just not productive. And I know one of the things that I know I struggle with is I find myself sometimes being this self-proclaimed king of sarcasm. Like, that's me. I know that I can pick like the worst thing and like spin it to be comedic, and like, who's laughing? Like, I'm doing it to jab my partner, and real talk, it hurts. And so what is it that I'm actually getting out of these sarcastic digs that I'm shooting at my partner, and in the midst of an argument?
Yeah, it's not productive. And I mean, in the episode when they went to counseling, even the counselor said, "Okay, we need to stop it right here.
Yeah, like, she cut it.
This is not productive conversation."
No.
And so, if a TV therapist can say it,
right?
Then we'll say it on this channel. We've said it before.
Yeah.
Hitting below the belt, being sarcastic in the midst of an argument, bringing up old conversations and not listening to your partner, it is just not productive.
No.
We are supposed to be fighting for one another, not with one another.
Yeah, and I think that's why, we looked it up and saw that a lot of people had gotten like emotional watching this episode. And if I'm honest, whether you're a man or a woman and you watch this, if you're married, you will feel those same emotions, because as you're seeing this dramatization, it's so real and it's so relevant.
This is the most realest episode.
Like, we watched this
seen.
episode and was just like, it's like watching a mirror. It's like looking in the mirror. Like, it's almost like you thought the acting was perfect, because it's like, yes, that's exactly how she is. And then it's like, well, that's exactly how I am. Like,
yeah. And we can see that if we allow things to go to its natural end, like how we saw them, then we can be in the same boat as they are.
Yeah. And I think the last thing too is just like, you watch them going through this and you can see them like trying to push past. You know that feeling, for all the married people out there that kind of relate to this, that feeling when you're in that lull and y'all are not clicking on all cylinders, and you just have that feel like you're both trying to push through. You're trying to, say funny things to make each other smile, and you kind of go, oh yeah, that's right, you're right. And it's like, oh, I thought she was gonna bust out laughing, but you're trying. You see that in this episode, like, small effort, but still effort, and you can see that it's just like it's just not working.
They're so far gone.
And it's just like, and they're shocked at how far apart they've drifted, and it hurts. You can see the pain in it. So it was very relevant.
This is a really great episode for marriages, and we could not let it pass by without talking about it, because we have been saying so much in our previous videos, as you see, that line up perfectly with, if you don't follow these steps, your marriage can end here. If you don't date, if you don't have productive and honest conversation, if you continue to jab your partner, like all of these things, you're gonna find yourself in a loveless, lifeless marriage. Yeah.
So we really want to encourage you guys to go watch Blackish.
Yeah.
Even if you're not into the actual show, go and just watch this episode.
Episode 20.
Leave in the comments what you think about it, and let's have a dialogue about it. And then we'll go from there.
Absolutely. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with someone that you think likes this show or is having problems in their marriage. Share this video and let them join the conversation. Also, we are going to do a review on episode 21, which is basically following along from episode 20. So if you like this video, keep watching. Subscribe, and we're going to do another video on episode 21. So we hope that you liked it.
Yep.
And stay tuned.
Yes. All right. So thank you guys for watching.
Bye.